All right, so it looks like folks have settled in. Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday to everyone. Thank you for joining us here on this Friday morning. So thankful it's Friday, and I hope you are as well. But today we're going to talk with you about the Mini-MBA in healthcare that we have developed with the University of Arizona. And presenting today is myself. I'm the Chief Learning Experience Officer here at Dignity Health Global Education, and my colleague, Lindsay Granger, who's the Senior Enrollment Manager with our organization as well. And so the two of us will talk about this program and then also answer any questions you have at the end. Inside of Zoom, you have a Q&A feature and a chat feature. Feel free to use either. If you have questions, we'll be looking at both of those things as we go through here, and we will be most certain to address your questions as we go. So to get us started here, I want to talk a little about who is Dignity Health Global Education. A lot of folks haven't heard of us yet. And we are an organization that's been around for about the past 3 years. And our mission is to connect healthcare workers with highly respected academic institutions. And by doing that, we co-create online certificates and degree programs that can be available to anyone in healthcare anywhere in the country. And so I like to say that, our DNA is healthcare. Dignity Health Global Education was born from within healthcare to solve healthcare's biggest workforce development challenges through educational solutions and high quality educational solutions in particular. So our board is comprised of several Common Spirit Health executives. The folks you see on the screen here, Kathy Sanford, the CNO of Common Spirit, Marvin O'Quinn, the president and COO, and Greg Davis, who heads up the international arm of Common Spirit as well. And so through our work with Common Spirit, we interview executives at all levels, or throughout all different departments, and management at all levels. And what we do is we listen for needs that we can then take to one of our 11 academic partners, University of Arizona being one of them, to engage with their faculty, engage with their administrators to see, can we work with you to solve this need that we've heard healthcare has? And so this program, the Mini-MBA for Healthcare, is in direct response to the needs that we've heard from leaders across Common Spirit, but also any health system that we talk with. The common request that comes out of these leaders is we need business acumen. Our leaders need business acumen. We have to better understand the business side of healthcare so we can be more effective at hitting our goals. And so this program is exactly that. So that's what we're going to show you today. So a little bit about University of Arizona's Eller Executive Education. It is an arm of their business school, which is the Eller Business School, which is ranked number 10 in the U.S. News World and Report. So very well-respected business school. They know business and have renowned faculty. The executive education division in particular is ranked 7 and is consistently ranked in the top 10 for executive education programs. So they know executive education as well. And so we were excited to be able to go and engage with a group of this caliber and bring them this challenge, which is how do we better understand the business side of healthcare and how do we help people at all levels in management, clinicians, non-clinicians, anyone who is responsible for the business side of the organization. How do we help them increase their business acumen and do better for themselves, do better for the organization, and ultimately do better for healthcare in the United States? So with that, why study a Mini-MBA? Well, there's several reasons. I mentioned a lot, I've already mentioned a lot about business acumen. So this program gives you hands-on tangible skills on the business side of healthcare within a short 12 weeks. And with that, we also know that healthcare has taken a hit over the last 18 months. And so we took an interesting approach to infuse a bit of mindset development within this program as well. And you'll see a theme called Achieve Greatness within this program, where we give strategies about how to just dig deep, find the mindset to then step in and accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish within your personal life, your career, within your organization, et cetera. And then with this program, we know there's no time. We know there's no time to waste. A lot of folks already have a degree, or they don't have the time to go back and complete an entire MBA program that can cost, $100,000 plus. And so with this program, it's focused on fast skill transfer, fast skill development. So folks in any level of management, any responsibility on the business side of healthcare can get the skills they need to start making a difference in a very short amount of time. And so those are some of the reasons why, we've approached this Workforce Development Challenge in this way with this program. And let's tell you a little bit more about it now.
Awesome. So like Kurt said, at DHG, we've always tried to take a really unique approach to online learning, and this program is no different at all. And frankly, it's one of our most amazing programs that we offer. So in this 12-week, 100% online program, students learn to apply the modern tools of business to solve actual challenges and succeed in this ridiculously increasing competitive healthcare environment that we're all kind of in right now. So not only will you get industry-specific insights from our academic experts, you'll also benefit from our star athletes, which we're going to get into a bit later, but so excited about this program to do with them. And their perspectives when it comes to issues like performing under pressure, resilience, and overcoming failure. So right now, obviously the main point of this webinar today is about the Mini-MBA in healthcare, but we also have a specialization of our Mini, and that is to do with rural healthcare. And Kurt and I will talk about that a little bit later on. So then if we want to get into the curriculum here, our Mini-MBA provides healthcare professionals with, the knowledge to confidently communicate about all aspects of healthcare business. And what we've learned from a lot of our students who are currently taking the program is that they have all of the practical experience, the clinical experience, but they're lacking on the business side. And so that's where we came in and really kind of filled that gap. And so the curriculum is broken down into 12 different units facilitated by our subject matter experts. And while each topic is separate, each week, all the knowledge you acquire will come into play in the final capstone project once the program completes. So the topics include healthcare economics, high impact business strategies, and human capital management. It also focuses on thriving during changing times, which is right where we are right now, the science of influence, and building resilience and awareness.
Just to add on that a little bit, Lindsay, is, these are a lot of topics, right? This is a lot of ground covered in this Mini-MBA. So we've cut out the fluff, we've got right to what matters, and learners can expect to spend about 4 to 6 hours a week across these topics. But what we've seen from our graduates in this program is our approach to this has led to rapid skill development and their ability to actually apply what they've learned in the workplace week to week, and ultimately, by the end of the program. And we'll show some of the testimonials and results from the graduates in a few slides.
Exactly. And I think too, the main way of kind of talking about this program is that we've taken all of the important research-based components of an MBA and condensed it into this 12-week healthcare-specific, business-focused program. So you're not sacrificing any of the depth, even though it seems like you are, but when you look at the curriculum, you're not sacrificing anything. I mean, it's great. So getting into the athletes, which I'm very excited about because I'm a former athlete, so this was one of the reasons why I loved this program so much, is the curriculum really took an innovative approach. So in addition to our academic experts that we have these amazing athletes helping us out. So Max, John, and Atto, they're high-level athletic champions. They've been involved in the business side, the athletic side, the training side, and they bring their unique perspectives to achieving greatness on the job, overcoming failure, and performing under pressure, which are not just things that athletes go through. They're things that all healthcare professionals face on a pretty consistent, if not daily basis. So having these athletes and their, unique perspectives really enriches the program. And I'm currently a student in the program. I'm 4 weeks in, and each of the units starts out with this unbelievable message from the athletes, and it really pumps you up to start the unit and get into the academic side. And it's just such a unique feature.
So as learners progress through those 12 topics that you saw on the screen earlier, all of those topics were produced with renowned faculty from the University of Arizona, but they're facilitated by experts from healthcare. So our goal at Dignity Health Global Education is to be right at the intersection of industry and academia. We see a strong need to have both sides involved in every educational experience and not have it just be academia, not have it just be industry, but to be at the intersection of the two. And so in this program, as learners progress from week to week, they work on projects ultimately resulting in a capstone at the end of the program, as Lindsay mentioned. But week to week, they work on projects, and when those projects are submitted, they're evaluated by someone that has been there and done that in healthcare and can give their wisdom and expertise back to each student in the form of feedback on their work products. And so in this case, Ginger Fig, who's one of our wonderful facilitators, she was the former CAO and president of Norton Healthcare out of Kentucky. And she's, was with Norton Healthcare for 20 plus years. So she's seen so many different things over the years within healthcare and has such a broad and incredible perspective. And now she's able to engage in a one-on-one fashion with each of our learners and use that perspective to help them see new things that they may not have seen within the work product that they're producing week to week. That's the quality of education that we want to have in these programs. We want to have high quality, renowned faculty's lectures and content paired with industry experts like Ginger, giving real one-on-one feedback to each student as they're progressing through the program. So I just wanted to talk about that for a minute, but with that, I do want to do a live demo of the curriculum. So I'm going to change the screen share here. So I'll just take just a second, and then I'll be right back with the new screen. So let me reshare. All right. All right, so you should be seeing the course in our learning management system here now. And so as you can see, here's the 12 units. Each unit is a week's worth of learning. And within each unit, every unit is made up of 3 really critical components to the learning process. One is a lesson, which is the acquisition of new information. So it's how do we get new information into our brains? And so we use interactive learning with video content, which I'll demonstrate here in a moment to do that, but it's all self-paced, so you can do it in chunks, you can do it on your time. If you have 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here, an hour here, you can use your time effectively to get through the acquisition of new information. And you can also go back and revisit that information as many times as you like. In fact, you have indefinite access to this curriculum. The next component in our learning model each week is a assignment or exercise where you apply what you've learned in those projects. So project-based learning from week to week, which I'll also show you. And then a third major component of our learning model is collaboration. And this is where you engage in a rich social learning platform, which I'll also show, where you can connect with peers either in your organization or across organizations. One of the most powerful features of our learning environment is that we connect healthcare leaders from across systems, inside Common Spirit and outside Common Spirit. We connect folks all over the United States, and that's one of the things that people value the most in these programs is the networking and the opportunity to hear perspectives from others in other systems as they're looking to solve problems within their own systems. So with that, let me take you on a little tour here. So I'll show you a lesson. So again, this is one of the first steps of acquiring new information each week. So every week starts out with one of these lessons. We always start out with these big questions. So in Unit 1, the big questions are, since health is wealth and the U.S. is the wealthiest country in the world, why aren't we the healthiest? And how can the U.S. healthcare system be improved to increase value for consumers? Massive questions. So how do we unpack those? We take students through this lesson that you see on the screen here. And inside of here, the lesson is broken up into micro lessons. So again, if you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or hour, however much time you have, you can do something effective with that time. But I'm going to pop in here and show you some of the content in here about how we lay these lessons out, all to maximize the effectiveness of your time from a learning perspective as well. We carefully think about every click, every word, every image on the screen to ensure that there is an ROI on your time or money spent on this program. And so inside of here, Lindsay talked about the Achieve Greatness curriculum. Every single unit starts with this vignette from these world-class athletes. And the idea is going back to my comment earlier about healthcare having taken a punch to the gut in the last 18 months. A lot of people feeling like they're down on the mat. We thought, let's have these athletes share how they've overcome challenges, how they've reached some of the highest levels of sports performance in the world, and what advice they would have for healthcare professionals who might be feeling down in the dumps or might be looking for additional inspiration to accomplish their goals. So with that, every week has some video content from these athletes, very short video, but it's an inspiring video, and then a greatness challenge on how you can take their advice and put it into practice. So I'm going to play this video, and then I'll come back and show some of the other pieces here. So I just want to make sure share sound is on. All right.
I motivate myself the way I always have throughout my career, by remembering that it's not just about me. You know, for a lot of years, you know, there were only maybe 1 or 2 athletes from my country who were world class and achieving at a world class level. So what sort of an example would I have been setting to, you know, to quit or to give up? It was a huge motivation in my career, because I felt like I have to keep going, because this is not just about me.
Bolden is going clear of the field. Bolden is going to win by a big margin. Fredericks is in second place, and Claudinei da Silva of Brazil just gets up to take the bronze medal.
One of the biggest motivations that I have is internally, and it starts with determination. You know, I remember vividly back in high school when I set my mind that I wanted to play football. And then as I played it, there were still doubters. There were still sports writers in my own hometown as a high school kid that didn't think I could do it. So I've always prided myself in not being labeled, not being stereotyped, or not being put in a box. And I think that was my biggest driving factor, was to always forge my own path. And that determination, some people could call it stubbornness, but it was my commitment and that dedication to that type of credo that's always carried me forward.
To a degree, some people are self-motivated just inherently, but everybody goes through ups and downs, right? And I'm a big believer that the biggest thing that I could do in trying to succeed is to throw myself into a situation where I'm surrounded by the best possible people that I can find, and then try and swim with them. I chose to go into the big pool at UCLA and be surrounded by dozens and dozens of Olympians. Literally every day at the track, it was like a world championship all-star training situation. We had, no joke, 20 to 30 Olympians on that track, and almost all of them had medals. And when you go into that environment, your expectations are set. That's what you're supposed to do.
So that's an example of some of the achieved greatness content that's been brought in here. But one thing I want to show is that it's not just a video. You know, it's more. It's about taking what their advice was, taking their inspiration and put it into action. And so every week also has a small greatness challenge about how you can take some of these points that they've given us, and some of the advice that they've shared, and put it into practice in your life or in your career, in your workplace, or even in your personal life. And so, you know, we've all probably heard of masterclass, you know, but a lot of the masterclass courses are very passive. This is masterclass with action. There's always action-oriented elements in our learning programs, because we believe that there has to be something hands-on that attaches to what we're doing. And so this greatness challenge is, you know, that component that we've referenced, you know, throughout this. And then we get into the economics content. So in this case, Unit 1 is focused on economics. And so with that, we have Dr. Joyner from the University of Arizona, who takes us through economics. And so with this content, we take Dr. Joyner through a bunch of we have Dr. Joyner at a bunch of micro lessons with some additional learning content that makes it interactive and helps you retain this information over time. I'll play this just for a few moments, and I'll show you what this is like.
Hello, my name is Keith Joyner. I'm a professor of medicine, economics, and health promotion sciences at the University of Arizona. The topic of my unit is health economics. So in order to tell you why I'm passionate about this topic, I first need to describe a bit about my career trajectory. This is arguably my third segment of my professional life. For 25 years, I was an infectious disease physician practicing in academic medical centers, first of all at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland, and then at Yale University. And moreover, doing basic laboratory research, which was considered my pedigree. In 2004, I came to the University of Arizona College of Medicine and served as dean of the college and vice provost for medical affairs for 5 years. In 2009, I spent about half a year in Washington, D.C., working at a think tank at a time when the Affordable Care Act was being discussed. It didn't have that name at that point. And that introduced me to some of the more political aspects of the healthcare industry. And then in 2010, I came to Eller, and I've been teaching health economics ever since.
So Dr. Joyner, you can hear his incredible background, and he, even continues to build on his experience in this introductory video here. Dr. Joyner worked with our instructional design team and our producers to turn what he knows into these micro lessons that you see over here on the left. And so we took Dr. Joyner's lectures, we were able to break it down into digestible chunks and then build elements around it so that it ensures that you're gaining the most important aspects of what he has to share. But then also within each of these, we give you a reader that accompanies every one of these units. And so this PDF, it's delivered as a PDF intentionally, so you can save it and refer back to it very easily. But these readers follow along from unit to unit. So why health economics is not boring accompanies his lecture on why health economics is not boring. So you have this incredible learning tool, which, we focus exclusively on adult learners, and we know adult learners like to have preferences in how they access their content. And so this reading, this preference for reading content is available as well as watching. And what we find is a lot of learners go back and forth between the two, and they view it as a very strong learning experience because of those options that are available. Inside of these micro lessons, a few of the elements I want to show you is that the points from Dr. Joyner are all pulled out, so you can go through them in a way that really reinforces the learning process. And so here's a video from Dr. Joyner on why health economics is not boring. And I won't play this because it's a 12-minute video, but what I want to show you is that as Dr. Joyner's talking, you also reinforce what he's saying with visuals on screen and things to help also support the learning process as you're watching these videos. You can also control the speed of the video. You want to watch Dr. Joyner a little bit faster, a little bit slower, and also closed captioning, which a lot of folks like having that option so they can read and listen at the same time. But also, inside of here, everything that he's discussed is reinforced on the pages and summarized in a set of key points. So every micro lesson has a summary of key points and a quick knowledge check. And this isn't a knowledge check for testing. This is a knowledge check for reinforcing learning. So that we know that the more you recall the important facts in any lesson, the more likely you're going to retain that information a week from now, 2 weeks from now, et cetera. While at Dignity Health Global Education, we're about impact. And we want this to be an impactful experience for you. We know that impact means that it needs to stick in your brain for you to be able to use it on the job. And so every click in here is done intentionally, all in an effort to increase your likelihood of retaining these important facts and points later when you need them. So this goes through these micro lessons over here on the left. And then this unit and many of our units conclude with what we call industry insights, where we sit these faculty members down with leaders from healthcare. So in this case, Dr. Joyner sat down with Bob Ritz, who's the president of Mercy One, the largest health system in Iowa. And we had Dr. Joyner and Bob Ritz have a conversation about healthcare. And so this is about a 45-minute conversation where Dr. Joyner and Bob don't always agree. It's fascinating to see the two different perspectives. One, just an incredible practitioner, and one, an esteemed academic. And you have them go back and forth and discuss healthcare in the United States today. And it's just a wonderful conversation with some really interesting insights. And so many of our units have this industry voice to help complement the academic perspective with the industry perspective as well. So with all of our programs, you always get that well-rounded view in the curriculum. So with that, that's the lesson that's included in every week. So as Lindsay talked about those 12 different topics, every topic has a lesson like this with different faculty members from University of Arizona. But then the students get hands-on. And so inside of here, this is an example of one of the exercises. This exercise happens to be in week 1. It's a case study on a staffing dilemma in COVID-19 times. And so the students will work on this case study and then submit the case study back to our learning management system, where they'll actually receive detailed feedback from our expert facilitators. And so we had Ginger up on the screen earlier. So this is an example here. So you see the exercise document here. Ginger's giving detailed feedback to the students on their exercise submission. So you're getting the lesson content from the experts at University of Arizona, and you're getting the individualized feedback from somebody like Ginger. And then every week, the students engage in asynchronous discussion, which we use a social learning platform that is much more modern in its approach than a lot of online programs use. And inside of here, students can do all sorts of things to engage with each other. They can run polls, they can add video, images, draw right into the platform, and of course we have emojis. We're big fans of emojis. So the platform is very much like what you would expect on any social platform today, but are centered around an academic discussion. So inside of here, what people report is that these discussions allow them to connect in really meaningful ways with others across healthcare. So the facilitator is involved in here as well, but this is very much a student-to-student experience, a learner-to-learner experience in this discussion area. And so it's also gamified a bit. So as you post and people react to your content, you actually earn points. And so you're incentivized to elicit conversation from your peers in this discussion week to week, which is, it's fun. It's fun. It's a much more engaging and fun experience from an asynchronous learning perspective than many of the online programs that are out there. So we've done a lot of work to make this a meaningful and valuable part of the experience. So with that, I just want to conclude that every week in this program, from economics to operations to strategic human capital management, it follows this very important formula of acquire new information, apply that information in project-based learning, get feedback, individualized feedback, and collaborate with peers from across healthcare to exchange ideas and build new information and new knowledge in yourself. And so, and then add a dose of inspiration from the athletes. And so that's a quick tour of the Mini-MBA platform and curriculum. So with that, I'm going to bring us back to the presentation and go to the next slide.
Awesome, Kurt. That just reminded me just how competitive my class is. Coming from emojis, first of all, there's like a serious emoji competition going on, and the points. If you're competitive, it gets out of control how many points you can try and get. And anyways, it's very fun because the discussion is great, but the points are also, it's fun. So one of the incredible aspects of the certificate program, just like Kurt showed, is that you're personally taught by these subject matter experts each week. So you saw Dr. Joyner, he sits down, he chats, he brings in aspects of his personal life as well as his professionalism. And they really do bring their own personalities, and you'll find yourself chuckling along with them because they do make little jokes, and it's very interactive. And it does feel like you're having a one-on-one teaching experience with these industry leaders. And to have that feeling, it makes economics much easier, first of all. And it's just a really personal way of actually retaining the knowledge. So Kurt, could you just talk about how you and your team kind of interacted with the SMEs during this process?
Absolutely. So I talked earlier about, we live at the intersection of industry and academia. And so whenever we develop a program, we work with these faculty members individually with our instructional design team. But then because we are born from healthcare, we have connections across all levels of management, leadership, executives. And so what we do is we connect these faculty members with key industry experts from inside healthcare through the development of their lessons. And so as they're developing their lessons, they're asking these executives, can you give me a real life example? Can you tell me how this applies today? Can you tell me how this is going to apply in 5 years? And then they write that into their lesson. So you're getting application of current industry thinking in these faculty members' lessons, from unit to unit and week to week. So it's a collaborative effort, and everything we do is about collaboration between industry and academia, but it's a collaborative effort throughout every unit, in the development of every unit for this program and all of our programs. So the other thing with this program is we know that digital verification and digital badges and digital certificates all matter, right? I mean, this is about, learners being able to hold their certifications, on their own, but then also share those certifications as they feel appropriate. And so the graduates of this program will receive 3 digital badges around 3 major competencies within this program. Strategy, implementing strategy being one of them, financial fluency as another example. But then at the end, you'll receive a digital certificate that is verifiable from Eller and Dignity Health Global Education, that within one click can be added to your LinkedIn profile. So you can proudly proclaim your accomplishment with this program. And all of this is done with a mindset that, it allows you to take that next step, whatever it might be, whatever reason that you might be choosing to take this program. It allows you to more easily take that next step because you've got this digital validation and verification of what you've done with this program. So I just wanted to mention that. And with that, Lindsay, you want to talk about some of the students?
Yeah, I mean, we're extremely proud of our students, and here are just some examples of, the diverse backgrounds within healthcare that our students come from. So as you can see, we have a range of titles, RNs, MDs, PAs, executives, managers, administrators, and they all come from a large variety of organizations. And I've had my share of classmates over the years through my own kind of academic experiences. And frankly, there's nothing worse than being in a homogeneous class where most of your peers have extremely similar job roles, experience, advice, and you kind of just stay lateral and you don't really move outside the box. So a really cool benefit of this program is that you're surrounded by peers who come from a variety of different backgrounds and experiences within healthcare. Some have vast backgrounds in business, some don't have any. And so you really do not only just learn from the course material and the SMEs and the faculty, you learn from your peers. And that happens in that discussion group that Kurt showed us earlier, is that a question is posed and my opinion and my view on it is vastly different than my peers, but I'm still learning from them. There are some hefty discussions that can happen sometimes, amongst the cohort, but it always is for, the greater good of trying to solve these healthcare problems and learning from your peers that come from different backgrounds. So it's a really, really neat kind of benefit of the program. And having said that, Kurt, could you go over some of the survey, feedback that we've gotten from our students?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been really, really pleased with the feedback that we've had from our graduates. 100% of them, which is not easy to achieve in survey feedback, with 83% strongly agreeing, so 100% at least agreeing or strongly agreeing, 83% of those strongly agreeing that their instructor provided quality feedback. We talk about that being such an important part of our learning process and our experience. And so we're happy to see that our learners also felt that was a part of their experience. 100% of the learners would recommend the course to others. Like, that's incredible. That's what we hope for. If somebody felt it was so valuable for them, they would recommend it to others. 100% of them would. 100% of the learners felt that they had been able to set and achieve goals through the Mini-MBA in healthcare. That's what we're after. How do we set and achieve goals, whether personal or professional? How do we do that? And they all felt that they've been able to since the completion of this. 83% of the learners felt the Mini-MBA provided them with the knowledge that needed to be innovative and question the status quo, which is what many are asked to do within healthcare today. 92% of them strongly agree that the Mini-MBA enabled them to exercise their mindset and influence the mindset of others. This links to the Achieve Greatness curriculum. We wanted to directly impact a positive mindset and a growth mindset within these learners, and it appears from the feedback that it's doing so. And 100% of the learners agree that their instructor was accessible and responsive. Now, this goes back to a question earlier that came up in the Q&A asking about being able to contact the facilitator. You can see right here from our graduates that they felt that their facilitator was accessible and responsive throughout the program. So that's some of the survey data. Some of the testimonials that came back have made my day for sure. Some of them are, the thing I liked most was learning from different professors who were specialized in each area. I felt like we were truly being taught by the best of the best. The takeaway I learned is that healthcare providers and administration are on the same team and are so much more efficient when communicative and collaborative. We talk about communication in healthcare all the time, right? And how communication either helps break down or improve outcomes within healthcare. I liked the discussion interaction the most. This helped me to see others' perspectives, not only on a personal level, but from different professionals and positions. I really enjoyed the discussion topics and getting feedback from others. So talking about that collaborative aspect that I showed with our social learning platform earlier. With that, you want to talk about some of the overall aspects of the program?
Absolutely. So in a nutshell, the program was designed with you, the working professional, in mind. The content is hosted 100% online, and like Kurt said, it only requires about 4 to 6 hours of study time a week. It's asynchronous, which works perfectly for all of our students, regardless of how busy you are or aren't. So there's no need to actually be online at any specific time. Again, like Kurt demoed, the content is delivered to you through short videos, readings, and discussion questions that are absolutely purposed to provoke some thought discussions between you and your classmates. And lastly, there is an assignment each week, and it's based on the knowledge that you've learned. And you do receive personal feedback from Ginger, and she's honestly fantastic with the feedback. She re-asks you questions based on maybe the questions that you had asked in your assignment. She'll re-go over it with you. I mean, it's a wonderful tool to be able to have Ginger giving you that one-on-one advice. And so you'll not only receive a digital badge that Kurt went over and that we're really, really excited about. Digital badges are such a kind of cool technological way to show off what you've learned. I've already put mine on my LinkedIn from previous courses that I've taken with DHGE, and it's really neat because you can literally just click on it. It's verified that you've done the program, and it gives you a little synopsis of the program too. But you also get 24 CMEs or CEUs once you complete the program. And also, if you've been kind of thinking about maybe doing a full MBA degree, completion of our certificate carries the equivalent of 2 credits towards UofA's MBA program. And we do have students in the program who really are, trying to decide if they want to take the full plunge and do an MBA. And this is a really good way of kind of dipping your toes in to see, okay, I love this, I want more, I want to move forward. Or we also have students who are completely satisfied with what they've learned in the program. And because it's so practical, they don't really need anything else from an MBA degree. So that's kind of in a nutshell what you get from the program.
So I want to talk a little bit about the rural healthcare specialization that launches in July. We're excited about this one. We've had great feedback and a great reception to the Mini-MBA for healthcare, which applies to all healthcare settings. But rural America said, "Hey, what about us? Like, how do we help apply these business principles and these Mini-MBA principles in a rural specific setting?" And so with this, what we've done is we've taken this master curriculum and we've customized the learning content to apply specifically to a rural setting. The exercises and discussions have all been revamped around rural application. We've brought in insights from rural leaders across the country. So as I showed Bob Ritz from Iowa in that video, those types of videos have now been brought in to have perspectives from folks across all different levels of rural healthcare in all different roles. And then the capstone in the project is also, better reflects an application in a rural setting. But some of the different types of topics that are going to be covered in the rural program, so very similar program, very similar structure, but adapted for rural. Some of the things that have been adapted is talent acquisition and retention challenges for rural systems, stakeholder and community engagement, grant writing, personal boundaries in small communities, persevering under pressure, things that we've heard are important and specific, or important in the rural communities and rural settings. And so this program is launching right around the corner, and we encourage you to look at that one as well if you are in a rural setting.
Perfect, thanks, Kurt. Okay, so if anybody has any questions and they are interested in registering for our July 19th class, please feel free to contact me. I'm here to offer any personal advice. I'm 4 weeks into the program, so I'm happy to offer you my most non-biased opinion, even though it's an awesome program. But I'm also here to help with anything to do with registration or any questions about the actual content of the program. So I'll pop the registration link into the box, and if you'd like to go ahead, you can. We've received a few questions over the course of the presentation, and Kurt's been answering those. But I do have a couple more that have come up here. So let me just take a look. Let's see. Okay, so we did talk about the discussion aspect of the program quite a bit. Kurt did an awesome kind of demo of it, and like I said, it's definitely my favorite part of the program. It definitely gives you a chance to get to know your peers a bit more. So although it's an online program, it really does feel like you're in a cohort type setting. And like Kurt also mentioned, there are a certain number of points that you are encouraged to get per week, but you can absolutely blow past that and get as many as you want. We also encourage a lot of emojis when it comes to the discussion as well. So essentially each week there are 2 topics of discussion and 2 questions that are raised. And you as the student can choose which one you prefer. You put the topic into the discussion, and then that way other people in your cohort understand which discussion question you've taken. And then everybody kind of just decides to jump in and have opinions on everybody else's opinions. So that's kind of the discussion. Another question, Kurt, I think you answered that one already. Let's see here. Oh, one of the other questions I received is, if I need to contact the facilitator, am I able to do so? And Kurt, correct me if I'm wrong, but they can email through Canvas directly to Ginger, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, our facilitators are very available. So yeah, there's an inbox within the learning management system, but then they also often share their own email addresses, and it's very, very easy to get in touch with the facilitators.
Okay, yep. Perfect. Yep. And then one more question here. Can you talk a bit more about the capstone project and what we have to do at the end of the course? So Kurt and I can both kind of talk about this, but like I mentioned, every week is a different topic, but every topic will eventually culminate at the end with your capstone project. And it's more of an essay type of project based on a healthcare issue that may have come up during the program for you in one of your assignments, or maybe it's something that you came into the program thinking that, hoping maybe the knowledge that you acquire throughout the program will help you with that. Kurt, anything else you want to add about that? Yeah,
the capstone is, it's really an incredible capstone, because it's the lesson that leads up to the capstone is about identifying paradoxes, and healthcare is ripe with paradoxes. And so what it allows you to do is look at the problems that exist within your organization and use this framework, this paradox management framework, to be able to break those problems down and find real solutions to the challenges that you face within your department, within your organization, within healthcare as a whole. And so this capstone is very much project-based, hands-on, and centered around the problems that are deconstructed through this paradox framework. So and then you get to see what others are working on. You get to give feedback from the facilitator with their ideas about how to help with some of the challenges that you found within this capstone project. So it's intense. It's very doable, but it's intense, and it's an incredibly useful project for leaders within healthcare.
Perfect, amazing. There's no other questions right now, but we really thank everybody for taking time out of their busy schedules today on this wonderful Friday to join Kurt and I and hear us, praise this amazing program. And like I said, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I've also put the application link for the program in the chat box, and we look forward to hopefully hearing from all of you.
Yes, thank you all. Happy Friday, everybody.